Hey, thanks for tuning in to College Corner. Today we're discussing anxiety and depression on campus. In my experience, my freshman year was very rough. I struggled with undiagnosed depression and anxiety, and I basically became a complete introvert. I rarely left my room, and it wasn't until about halfway through the first semester that I even realized that there was a problem. But luckily on campus we have tons of resources, and I actually was able to get an appointment with CAPS. CAPS is the Center for Psychological Help, and it is located on the south side of campus in the Health and Development Building. That's all.
So, in my personal experience, I think one of the hardest parts for me with going to Penn State was that I started at a branch campus. I started at Penn State York. So for me, the hard part was transitioning into here and to I forgot the name of the school, University Park, because I got so used to kind of living at home and commuting, and then making a bunch of friends at Penn State York, and then I moved I moved in the middle of the year, so I think that for me was kind of hard to deal with. But honestly, what I found really helpful was joining clubs. It's where I met a lot of friends, and now I'm doing things on the weekends, and I'm actually having fun, hanging out with people. So that would be my biggest recommendation, I think, is to join clubs and find something that you are passionate about that will kind of help you ease into things.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Or just now that I joined clubs, I'm definitely much happier and healthier. But definitely at the time, I really just felt like I was just completely thrown in to college life.
Yeah.
And I was also in the wrong major, which did not help.
Yes.
And roommates were also just really rough and isolating, especially when you are rooming with someone who's from the local area. It just gets really, really stressful when everyone else has this big group of friends and you're just kind of on your own. And at the time I was so nervous, and I wasn't able to. I didn't join clubs. I should have joined clubs. I don't know why I didn't, but I was no,
scary.
I will just have so much work to do. I won't have time to do clubs, which was stupid. Join clubs.
And it can get hard to leave your room.
I get too comfortable.
Yeah, when you're in a new place and you get comfortable and you're this is my space, then it's hard to branch out and go out to those places. And you might be able to relate to this because you're from Texas, which is far. I think we're both from Texas, so we're the farthest away out of the group of us. And I had homesickness
so bad,
no other.
The first I'm gonna say 2 or 3 weeks of my freshman year, it was so much change because it was the first time I was so far away from my parents, my friends, my pets, everything that was familiar was suddenly gone, and I thought I'd be fine. I thought the transition, I was it's college, I know it's going to be different. But when you get there and you suddenly realize you're I'm alone, it's such a shock. And that was when I first started dealing with that, where I was I am just spiraling, and I needed to hit the brakes, or otherwise it was just going to get worse.
And like you said, I think CAPS is one of the best resources you can use. I think everyone goes through experiences where you do need someone to talk to, and while talking to friends can be a great thing, your family, talking to an outside person can be so freeing in a sense.
Perspectives.
Yes. Yep, absolutely.
Or CAPS really, really helped me. Unfortunately, they have a huge waiting list. I got on.
That makes sense.
I was on waiting list starting in October, and I got in the following year, late January, early February.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Wow.
Yeah. So I kind of had to solve most of my problems on my own. But once I did go to them, it really did help.
That was kind of what I dealt with, mainly because in a way, I feel self-conscious about almost going there and saying, hey, I need help, because it's a scary thing to admit, I'm not okay. I need to talk to someone. And for me, the way I dealt with it was finding an activity, or for me, something creative. So I turned to my music, my guitar and singing, and that was kind of my happy space, where I was even if I'm feeling terrible and I'm sad and I want to cry, this is where I can go to just kind of take me out of it for a while. I think something like a creative outlet like that is really beneficial.
Yeah.
And I think a good piece of advice, especially for freshmen, because it can be hard, is things do get better.
Yeah.
I think if you make the steps, obviously if you're really going through something and you're not talking to anyone, it can be hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel. But things do get better. You just have to, take it day by day. I think that's one of the biggest lessons that I've learned from being in college now for the past 2 years, is just take every day, one day by one day, because if you try and focus down the road too much, you'll get caught up. So taking every day just as a singular day, I think can be really helpful.
And it goes fast.
Yeah.
And it's like don't like waste your time being like sad or like am I gonna get there? Am I gonna be okay? Just like it's hard at the time, but you have to work like on what you're dealing with right then and there.
Yeah.
I agree.
And things change like so quickly here. Like every week is like different for me. Like there's different things going on. Everything just like nothing's like the same. It'll like get better and it's always gonna be changing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think something that I've learned too is that like people are nice. Like people are genuinely like nice. Like I've never been like one of my things is I don't drink, so like I don't like go to a lot of parties or anything like that. But when I do go, like nobody's like ever pressured me to like drink or do anything like that. So that's what I've like kind of found like. And if you ask to talk to somebody, usually like 9 times out of 10 they'll be totally willing to do that, which is awesome and something that I wasn't expecting in college.
Yeah.
I think a difference about college too, at least that I noticed, is like when you're in high school, like I went to a relatively large high school. We had like almost 3,000 kids total.
Yeah, wow.
And so, but still, like even in that environment, you still feel like you have an identity. Like everybody knows you. Everyone has their idea of a reputation of you.
You have a thing.
Exactly.
That's your thing.
And the thing that's really nice about college is like you have a completely like fresh slate, and nobody knows you. Nobody like you can really be whoever you want to be and completely change yourself if you want to. But what's so great is college kind of makes you see everything like outside of cliques. It helps you get out of that mentality. It's like everyone is a person, and it's like if you're willing to open up to someone and they're willing to do the same for you, you're gonna make friends instantly.
Definitely.
And I think you have to realize you're not alone, right? So like every freshman is in a new place. Every freshman like this is a new experience. They haven't done this before. So when you realize like we're all feeling these things and like we all can help each other in that way, that is also a way like you can make friends. It's like relying on one another to make sure like, are you okay? Like we can be there for each other because I know that you're feeling similar to how I'm feeling.
Exactly. And like everybody's scared. Like whether it's like a little bit or a lot of it, it's like you're all scared when you get here. It'll wear off after an amount of time, but it's like don't be afraid to admit that. It's a scary change.
Oh yeah, I was like terrified.
Yeah, absolutely.
I also moved in at like a super like cold. So like the first time I went outside, it was like my legs went numb. So I was like, all right, we're off to a good start.
When did you move in?
I moved in January of last year.
Oh.
So I moved and it was like that week where it was like absolutely below freezing every single day, and I was like moving into my dorm room, and I was like, okay, here we go. But like it ended up being like a really like great semester, so, and it ended up being really great here. So I'm glad.
So I definitely think use your resources.
Yes.
If you take anything from this segment, use the resources that are on campus because there are so many, and they can be so beneficial because people want you to be happy.
Yeah.
No one wants you to be alone.
Like that's it. That we have a whole service, and it's there for that. And it's like don't be scared to go there.
Don't be scared or embarrassed. Like no one's going.
Don't be embarrassed.
No one's going to judge you for like bettering yourself and making sure you're okay.
And I think it's easier said than done.
Oh, absolutely.
But it's easier said than done. But definitely like don't be scared about it or don't be embarrassed about it because most people I think here are definitely kind of like that, or at least most people that I know are like that to some extent.
Yeah, and then even if you are too scared to actually go to the health center, they actually do CAPS drop-ins in almost every single dining hall. They'll have signs like when the times are.
So thank you for joining us for this segment. Tune back again because we'll have more College Corner advice. So thank you for tuning in.
That's the team.
Cheers.
That's the team.